Hi everyone, this is Tony Two Steaks. I hope you guys are having a great day. Coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. So today, on today's agenda, is I decided that I wanted to cure some salmon. Now I love salmon. Being a Jersey boy, I love going to the markets or going to a bagel shop, getting my nice everything bagel with a nice piece of cured salmon on it, and a little smear of that, a little scallion cream cheese, and away we go. I love doing that. But, it can be cost prohibitive, right? I mean, you go into some of these places, you want to do it at home, it costs you about $36 a pound to get you some nice, quality salmon that's been cured. Well, what I like to do is I actually like to do it myself. So what I've done is I bought some salmon, and it's about $7 a pound. And what we're going to do, this is wild-caught sockeye salmon. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to cure this, and then we're going to let it go for 3 or 4 days. Like I said, the reason I like using wild caught is one, it's a little bit richer, to me, richer in flavor. The other reason too is that when they're farm raised, you have no clue what they're pumping into the fish. When they're out in the wild, obviously you don't know what's in the waters either. But for the most part, you're probably better off because they're not going to be pumping chemicals into the fish, and they're not going to be doing any genetic modification. So this one has been out there floating in the wild, doing its thing. So the first thing we're going to do is I've washed it. I pre-washed them already. And then the next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to remove pin bones. So one of these things as you go through, you want to make sure that these little bones are out. And all you need to do is really use just use needle nose pliers. And you can see they can pull right out. There's one right there. And nothing worse than when you're slicing through your salmon. You got these little pin bones where you're eating it. Yeah. Now don't worry about it if it's a little bit rough and rustic, because at the end of the day what you're going to do is you're just going to go through and you're really going to just slice off pieces and when it's at surface. So no one's going to see this fish. It's not like you're making it as a plated dish. Now that all the pin bones are out of the fish, we're ready to proceed. So what I've done, and again, you can use whatever spices you want, right? But just go for it. Just have fun with it. See what's in your pantry. Like I said, I didn't go out and buy anything special for this. What I did was, I just went in and I decided that I'm just going to put a few things together. So what I've got is this grinder, which I usually use for my coffee. This is actually an extra one. This one's been cleaned out. And what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put some pepper in, some peppercorns. I searched around a little bit. I got some lemon pepper. Put some of that in there. I've also got some nice Szechuan pepper. And if you guys have ever been to a restaurant that specializes in cooking from Chengdu, you might have had this, and if you ever notice you've got like a little sparkling sensation that happens in your mouth, this is the pepper. I happen to like using it because it gives it a little bit of a unique taste. And then we just go in. And now we have a nice, fresh spice blend, which I love because nothing is better than when you get the cracked pepper and you crack it for that very first time. So this recipe that I'm doing is a little bit of an homage and a takeoff to one that I learned in China when I was taking my cooking lessons from Stefan Stiller. And one night, one afternoon on a Sunday, when Stefan would do these, and I used to go on the Sunday afternoon sessions because I could actually plan to be there. He did sessions during the week, but those Sunday sessions were great because we do a 3-course dinner. Everybody cooked, everybody pitched in, which was a little bit fun for me, is that a lot of folks didn't like to be hands-on, so he asked for volunteers, and I kind of wait my turn a little bit because I want to push everybody aside, even though that's sort of my nature. But I decided that let me hang back a little bit, and if somebody didn't volunteer for something, I just jumped right in, and this way I can get the hands-on experience. And nothing like learning from a guy like Stefan Stiller, because Stefan now, his Thai table restaurant in Shanghai has 2 Michelin stars. So the real key thing that you always need to do is that you need to have some nice kosher salt. And I like to use honey. A lot of the recipes will say that you put the fish in, and then on top of that you throw some sugar. I like honey. It's not. It's natural. This is organic honey, and it gives me the sweetness that I need. That's going to sit on top of the cure, but not a refined sugar. Which, in case people have allergies or allergic to it, most people are not allergic to just anything that's produced naturally. So that's why I'm a big fan of using the honey. And anytime something calls for sugar, I like to use honey. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of the salt, kosher salt, and we're going to put it in the bottom of the pan, right? Because you want to get curing on both sides. Okay, and ideally we just place them in there. In this case, I'm just doing it side by side. And then the next thing we're going to do is pour some more salt. And don't be afraid, because this cure is going to, in essence, preserve the fish, right? So it's going to draw out the moisture. So you can't, and then when we take this out later, we're going to wash it off. So don't be afraid to be extremely generous with the salt. Okay, because as we know, this will preserve the food, and these are ancient techniques that people used in order to have food for the winter. They would cure it and preserve it in this way. And these recipes are still handed down, and I still love the salt stuff. There's another one, the salted cod that the Portuguese eat. When I was a kid with my grandmother, we used to go into this market. It was run by Manny Santiago, and Mr. Santiago would have the fish, and I still remember it to this day, the dried cod leaning against the wall like they were planks of wood. And my grandmother would go in there and buy the salted cod for either her fish cakes or broiled bacalhau. And he would just take a saw and cut her off a piece, which had to hydrate over several days. Okay, so now we've got the salt in there, we've got the sugar on top of that. Now the next thing we need to do is really give it give it the spice. Okay? So we could just be very liberal on this one. Put the spice rub on top. Again, don't be afraid of it. This is all stuff that's going to get washed off later. Okay. Now the next thing you want to do is put whatever herbs you have on hand. You could use mint, you could use cilantro. I happen to have bunches of parsley, some dill that we had grown and frozen actually in our arrow garden, which I don't know if you guys have seen my posts on that over the last year. But we had grown a lot, and I have to tell you, if you ever grow dill, you will not want for dill ever in your life. We had so much dill that I still have dill sitting in the freezer. So the next thing we do is we put our herbs on top. Like so. Spread them out evenly. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, like I said, a rough chop. And like I said, this is going to be all stuff that's going to be removed, so you don't have to worry about julienne cuts, pretty cuts, or anything like that. As you can see, I'll move this one to the side, because I'm just doing a rough cut. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting this back, and like so, we just pour it over that. Top of that, and then on top of that, a little more honey. So it just permeates through. And this is it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator for about 3 to 4 days. Then after that, we'll pull it out, and I'll show you some interesting things on how we're going to plate this. So for now, let's relax a little bit. We'll wait the 4 days, grab a glass of wine, and we'll check back. So with the beauty of modern technology, some days have elapsed. Actually, 3 days have elapsed since we put this in the refrigerator. A couple of things I want to let you know. That along the way, what I've done is I've made sure that periodically I go in and I check my salmon and make sure that we drain out the water, because as the salt goes into the meat, it starts to dry, just throw out all the moisture, and then you start to get this pool over here. So you don't want your fish sitting in that pool. So every so often, just go in there and just dump it out. But as you can see, it's been securing over a certain period of time. You can touch it right now, and the texture of it is pretty much where I want it to be. So the next step we're going to do is we're just simply going to wash the salmon. So let's go and I just scrape off all the herbs, the aromatics that we put on top of it. And I wish we had smell-o-vision, because being able to sit here and tell you how this actually smells is just amazing. So then we'll come over here and we'll just pat them dry. To show you the beautiful textures of it, a nice little close-up view of how the salmon has now transformed itself. So now comes a moment of truth. It's breakfast time, and I don't know about you guys, but I love a salmon, like secured salmon with nice cream cheese on a bagel and a nice little bagel sandwich. So what I thought I would do is make one of those for you today. So got our bagel, which is already pre-sliced. And I've got my nice beautiful salmon knife that I purchased years ago, and now it's just a matter of just slicing it off. So I'm just going to weigh out my sandwich a bit. Nice little slices. So good. So that's about two ounces of the salmon. Here. Next, we'll start building our sandwich. So first thing I'm going to do is just get some cream cheese. Let's spoon that in here. A little more, because I like it fairly generous. And then what I did a little bit earlier is I chopped up some scallions. Let's put that in here. Mix that up. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to smear it on the bagel. In fact, a little more. I have a little more in here. Some more chives. Some scallions, I should say. Okay, that's a nice smear, they would say in New York City. Next, we're going to take our salmon and just pile it on top. Nice tomato, freshly cut. And probably the next thing you just want to do is kind of freshen it up a little bit, and just take some an orange. Do some nice little wedge out of that. Put some orange wedge on the side. And take some scallions, just drizzle it all over the top. And then take the bagel, give it a nice little cut. Push the salmon back in to try to escape, and there you go. You've got yourself a nice little bagel sandwich for your morning breakfast. Station a little bit. plate. There we go. And this is what we have. It's a nice, beautiful breakfast sandwich, a little wedge of orange on the side. And I think the beauty of this one is that the cost, your personal cost, right? So you figure that if you went out and you bought the sandwich tomorrow at a bagel shop, it'd be $18 plus tax. We clearly did it before, below that, right? So probably $1.44 for the bagel. There was 2 ounces, that's another $1. So that's $2.44. Then pennies, right, for the amount of, say another $1 for the the scallions, the tomato and all that. Yeah, you put that all together, where you get $3.44, $4 for, and you can make an $18 sandwich at home for about $4 to $5. So that being said, this is Tony Two Steaks. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm going to sit down and enjoy my bagel.